I've talked a lot about this before and people didn't like it too much, like men in particular. But I do think it is a lot harder to date as a woman high earner, and especially as a Black woman high earner. And there's a couple of reasons why I think that is the case, but generally speaking, it is harder to date. And in my experience, one thing that I have noticed is that men, when they like come into your sphere, especially if you're someone who's not necessarily like withdrawn or or like quiet per se, right? Like you have opinions and they don't like that.
Look, miss, you can have your opinions all you want. That's not the problem. The problem is, are you nagging a man? Are you trying to compete with him? And is your masculinity going to be able to be turned off when you're in a romantic setting and you're with or around this potential man that you want to be with? Or is your masculinity that you've trained for, that you've, picked up on the way to your path, your journey, so to speak, of becoming, I guess, this successful woman, and now you want to mate, will it get in the way of your dating prospect? That's all it is. You could have your opinion, but the thing is, a lot of men are not going to listen to your opinion, especially the one that you want to take serious, because men and women live two different existences.
I just want you to like shut up and be quiet and just be behind them, and that's not me. But also like others of them, they're just jealous, and obviously it's not like they're saying to you, oh, I'm jealous, but you can see that they're jealous because they'll make like snide comments, or they'll be like, or like little things along those lines. Or some of them, I wouldn't attribute this one to jealousy, but just more so like they want to be kept. They'll say like, you're the one with all the money, and sometimes jokingly we're just like, okay, but that's not a funny joke if I don't know you.
You said plain as day, that's not you. You're not the type to just, be quiet and take a back seat, because you've been masculinized, if that's even a word, to be like a man. So you want to speak up, and you've done that before because of the title, so-called title that you got, working and climbing this corporate ladder. But the issue with this lies in what you just said. Men, they do not like get jealous of you whatsoever. We do not compete with you, is what I'm trying to say. And for some odd reason, women act like it's a competition. It's just we're appalled by it. It's not that we make snotty comments, and if guys are even saying, well, you got enough money, and they're trying to make you into the provider, and you're talking about a man being kept, those are the only guys that you're attracting, and we know those type of guys. Those guys are the ones that are looking to come up off of you and dip and leave you because you're too masculine. But, of course, she is not going to think of that. That's the very last thing that she would even think on her mind.
So I will say, like, for those reasons, it is a lot harder. But also another reason it's harder in general, I think, is because once you are making above a certain amount, you usually have a certain kind of lifestyle. And if you want to maintain that lifestyle, but also include your significant other in that lifestyle, they do have to be making within that range, right? I'm not saying that I will only date someone who makes more than me. That's absolutely not the case. But you do need to be probably making, like low to mid six figures, somewhere like 200 or higher.
Why would that guy deal with you, have to, be overly masculine, almost to the point sometimes damn near slapping you to get you in line, when he can get and take that money and get a woman that's going to be way easier on him, more submissive, not give him a headache, not try to challenge him, and not be masculine and masculinized? Why would a guy that's making that type of money deal with you? And that is the snide and the snag women keep putting themselves in and getting caught on, is the fact that you being just like me is not attractive. Just like if I put on a dress and heels and a wig and lipstick and I go and I show up on a date, you're going to be like, what the hell, turned off. That's the same way your accolades do not matter to us. We don't care that you got money. We don't care that you're successful. We don't care that you make over $200,000. We just know when you make that money, your standards go up with it, and so does the type of man. But guess what? That man doesn't want you. And if he's making that type of money, why would he just deal with another woman instead of dealing with you, trying to be like him?
order for us to have the lifestyle that I envision myself living, and mind you, I'm still working towards the lifestyle that I want to be living, but if I like to take vacations and I like to buy, diversify my investments and do all these different kinds of things, you need to be able to do that too, right? Like, I'm not here just funding your lifestyle. We need to be able to do this together. And so naturally, you have to have some sort of, cushion on your own before you come into my sphere, or before we can even really get along or be in the same like tax bracket. But again, I wouldn't say like he has to make more than me, but he does need to make close to it, or somewhere that would allow him to still be in that same area or same arena of what it is, of what my lifestyle is like and what I'm hoping it to be, right? Because the goal for me is at least to build generational wealth, and you can do that from a full-time job. I work full-time, but I also have significant side hustles, and yeah, it takes a lot of time, but to me it's worth it, right? Because I'm young, I have the time, I have the energy, and then later on in life, I'm just going to be able to like chill and just live off of what the hard work that I've been putting in now.
Boring.
Fellas, this is a dude. Close your eyes. Listen to the mannerism. Listen to the tone of her voice. You will literally picture Stan that works in accountant. Just a regular old American, hot dog eating American, run-of-the-mill type of guy. And that's the thing. All I heard was I, me, coming into my sphere. He has to be on my level with what I. She literally is in the shoes of a man. I don't even know if she notices this. She might be so in a trance, in a daze, and taken over that she does not understand that she is literally acting like a man. And this is why she can't get a date now. And her expectations are just, wild. Oh, right now I'm young. I can get these side hustles. I can get this money on the side. I'm just looking to, provide generational wealth or make generational wealth. It's like, whoa, you sound like a guy. No wonder she's having an issue. And she's like, oh, when I get older and I'm ready to settle down. She really thinks that she can use this money and that money is going to make her attractive. She really believes that she's going to be able to, save the world and save her lineage and do all these things, be superwoman, and still get a husband at the end of the day. This is crazy, bro. This is why a lot of these women are going to be single, bro. They've turned into men.
You had replied to this and also asked about like splitting expenses and different things like that. I don't believe in, like merging money or anything like that unless I am married, which I am not. And so I wasn't doing any of that. In terms of like dating, I still do think a man, especially for the first few dates, needs to be paying for the dates. Like, they need to be doing the courting, the courtship, all of that.
The answer is hell no.
There you have it, right there. She wants to be treated like a lady while still being treated as an equal at the same time. She wants to eat off of both sides of the swinging pendulum of feminism. Absolutely crazy. And no guy's going to want to court her. I'm telling you, they're going to want to not go on another date. If they can get up and excuse themselves and, run out on the bill or run out on the date, they probably will once you open your mouth. And that's the thing. Like, she has intent behind this. She literally believes everything that she's saying. Wild.
Dating is a lot more difficult. Oh, you had also commented about like where to meet them. I also made a video on this that some people didn't like, but in my experience, there's multiple ways to meet men who are high earners or whatever it is you want to call them. And one of the easiest and best ways is to change your environment, right? If you're only hanging around other high earners or only hanging around other professionals or entrepreneurs or people who are like-minded, that is going to become your circle of influence. That is going to become your norm. And so naturally you are going to meet those kinds of people. Like, for example, I was just at a conference and it was all attorneys. It was all big law attorneys. It was all in-house counsel, right? And I was just there and they're just around me, right? So that's an example. The weekend before I was at the Black Wealth Summit, like the same thing, right? So being very intentional about the spheres that you're putting out, putting around yourself, your environment, who you're hanging around, who you're talking to, go to conferences, go to events, like do those different types of things where you're going to be in the space to meet those kinds of people. And if you're living somewhere that doesn't allow you to be in that kind of space, then you got to figure out a way to get up and get out and go put yourself in that kind of space, or make some friends genuinely, because nobody wants like the fake stuff, to be able to cultivate that kind of experience for yourself. And that's what I found most helpful.
Well, in closing, my final thoughts, because this is the end of the video. I noticed the reason why she was speaking like this, and I've noticed why she has these type of standards and why it's so unrealistic, is because she gave away why it is. And that is because she said her sphere, I thought she kept saying spear, like Goldberger Edge's spear. And I'm like, dude, what the hell is she talking about? The people that she's around, she says she puts herself in these places. She goes to these conferences, she goes to these events. And what she ends up doing is she thinks that one day she's going to hit it off with one of these attorneys, one of these guys that she really wants to be with, that's making the type of money. Everything that she described, she believes that it could be a reality because she's around these guys. But what she doesn't understand is these guys don't look at her as a prospect. They look at her as just another guy, like one of the boys. And I think that she has not learned anything yet, because she has been to these events and nobody has hit on her. She would have had a completely different story. She would have, interjected this into, whatever the hell this rant was, and whatever she was talking about or talking to. And she would have already said what her experience is. But this just goes to show me that she doesn't have any sort of luck in these situations, and she's going to be going to these events for absolutely nothing. It's going to be a letdown. But somebody's going to have to tell her that she's too masculine. But the problem is a lot of guys are too soft and they're not going to do it. But hey, I'll be the first one to tell you, ma'am, with all due respect, you're too masculine. And no matter how much you put yourself out there for these guys, these type of guys, they're not going to be receptive, because men don't want to date other men. Men don't care about your money, and you want that to matter, and you want to speak up and talk like a guy. Guys are just not attracted to that. Make sure you guys like the video, sub to the channel, post notifications on. That's all I got for you guys today. I'm about to actually head out to Dallas. I had these all ready, stored and ready to go, so I can continue to entertain when I'm away, on some business for the holidays. I will see you guys all in the next one. Bountyville, I love you. Make sure you guys like the video, sub to the channel, post notifications on, comment for the algorithm. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. And get that passport.
I'm in for rehab, I wanna relax. Girl, you understand my needs and I believe that. Detox and revamp, things you do with your hands. You know I need that rehab. I'm in for rehab, I wanna relax. Girl, you understand my needs and I believe that. Detox and revamp, things you do with your hands. You know I need that rehab.